Can Lord and Miller continue their winning streak? Let's find out. What is going on, everybody? Tom Chattelbash here, and if you love movies and TV, then rest assured you are in the right place. Without further ado, it is time to review the new sci-fi movie Project Hail Mary, starring Ryan Gosling. Now, Project Hail Mary, which is based on the beloved novel by Andy Weir, centers on Ryland Grace, who is a middle school science teacher who is played here by Ryan Gosling, who wakes up in space not remembering how he got there or why he's there, and once his fractured memory slowly starts to come back to him, he realizes that he is actually in charge of saving mankind from this substance that is slowly killing our sun, and little does he know that he is about to meet an extraterrestrial that he's going to nickname Rocky, who needs to save his own planet from the same deadly substance. The two of them have to work together, learn how to communicate to save their respective planets, and along the way, a budding friendship emerges, and the two become closer than each of them ever expected. Now, I was extremely excited for Project Hail Mary, not only because it has been getting an overwhelming amount of praise and good word of mouth over the past several weeks, but because I loved the book. It's one of my favorite books of all time. It's a page turner, couldn't put it down. And when I saw the trailer for the film, it looked like a really great, faithful adaptation of the book, and I couldn't have been more excited with Ryan Gosling being in the lead because it seemed like he'd be perfect for the part. Project Hail Mary not only is a great adaptation of a book I love, but it plays like a sci-fi power ballad. It hits all the right notes, and it makes you as an audience member want to stand up and cheer when the credits roll. This is a story that is literally out of this world, but it's so deeply rooted in humanity, and I think that's why it works so well, and why it's so freaking entertaining. What Lord and Miller have achieved here is nothing short of miraculous, and everyone in this creative team is firing on all cylinders, and it has given us one of the most entertaining sci-fi films in recent years, and one of the best to enter the genre in quite some time. And I know all of this sounds like hyperbole, and it might sound grandiose, but let me explain. First and foremost, you have Ryan Gosling here, who is anchoring this film. He is carrying this film on his two shoulders, and he is doing so with effortless ease. I mean, his versatility seems to know no bounds, and he's one of the rare actors that can vacillate between drama and comedy so well. He has impeccable comedic timing, but he also has that dramatic gravitas that you need, especially for a role like this, where he has to play both sides of that coin. He imbues Ryland with such a dorky charisma and such an earnestness that you can't help but fall in love with this character and root for him as this movie goes on, especially once he meets Rocky, which I will touch on in a moment. I cannot wait to talk about this new extraterrestrial character. Gosling's performance here is just so damn good, and he's able to make you laugh out loud one instant and tear up the next, and he's doing so with such precision. It's just unbelievably impressive. And in a supporting role, we have Sandra Hüller, who a lot of people will know from Anatomy of a Fall. Great movie, especially great performance, and she's fantastic in this movie. She plays the head of this Hail Mary project. She's the one who recruits Gosling's character, and their scenes together are some of the film's best. They have this, rapport that's so unique and so offbeat, but also so warm and inviting, and I loved seeing these two characters interact because they're both socially awkward in their own respective ways, so to see them find common ground and bond with one another in this really dire situation was really well played, and it felt lived in. It felt authentic, and authenticity is definitely the name of the game when it comes to this film, so let's talk more about that. Now let's talk about the film as a whole, and there's just so much that I loved in this film. I just love the way this movie is made. It is such a handsomely made, well-crafted, miraculous feat of film production. What Lord and Miller are able to capture in camera is incredible. I mean, the production design, the sets, the lack of green screen, which they have talked ad nauseum about at this point, is fantastic. Obviously, there are visual effects in this film, but they're blended together seamlessly with the practical sets and the production design, and it makes everything in this movie feel so tactile, grounded, and wholly immersive. You don't doubt that you are in space for an instant, and Greg Fraser's cinematography is jaw-droppingly gorgeous. I was fortunate enough to see this film in 70mm IMAX, and I cannot tell you what an experience that was. It made me levitate, essentially. I mean, it's one of the best movie-going experiences I've had in quite some time, and Fraser continues to be one of the best visual auteurs in the game right now. I mean, after his work in the Dune films and in the Batman, I'm always so excited to see what he's going to work on next, and this might be some of his best work yet. I mean, unbelievably good visuals in this movie. Wow. If you're gonna see this movie, and you can see it in IMAX, see it in IMAX. And Daniel Pemberton's score is an absolute banger. It's such a character in and of itself in this movie, and it helps keep the pacing light and fast-paced. Not only that, but it nails those emotional beats and those comedic beats so well, and it blends together seamlessly with this movie and the story that Lord and Miller are telling here. Pemberton, again, just one of my favorite composers out there. He's so damn good and so versatile as well. But one thing I really love about Lord and Miller as directors and also as writers is that they're so good at balancing tone, and that is on full display here. I mean, not only are they able to steer the ship with a deft hand, but they never let the film get away from them, where it's veering too heavily into the comedy department, where it's shortchanging those dramatic moments. There's always a balance here. And that's what keeps this movie so light and breezy on its feet, but it still gives it that emotional heft that it needs to leave an impact on you by the time it ends. And then we have to talk about Rocky, this extraterrestrial creation that is practically there on screen through movie magic and puppetry, and it's just a wonder to behold. Rocky rocks, Rocky rules. I love this character so much, and that central core relationship between Grace and Rocky as they're trying to team up to save their respective planets, I loved that whole dynamic. It's funny, it's heartwarming, it's bittersweet, it's everything you want it to be. I laughed so hard watching these two interact. They basically have this best buddy / married couple dynamic, and it's so much fun to watch. But you really become emotionally invested in their relationship like you do in the novel. And it's just so well done and well realized, and it feels authentic, and it never feels too silly. It never feels like it's taking you out of the experience. If anything, it's immersing you more into this story and into these characters, and just kudos to the team here. I mean, having that practically there, having Rocky practically there interacting with Gosling's character, just a great touch, and he looks awesome. Definitely a new iconic sci-fi character for sure. And I think Goddard, who previously adapted Weir's The Martian for Ridley Scott and did a fantastic job with that, I think he does a great job adapting the novel. Like I said, I love the book, and I think the changes that he made are welcomed, and I didn't find myself bothered by them. And there are some things he had to cut out, some things he had to trim in order to streamline the story and make it so that this movie doesn't feel bloated or overextended. And honestly, I thought some of the changes he made were actually inspired, and some of the things that he had to cut out, sure, it's a bit of a bummer, but I understand why he did it, and I don't think it blunts the impact of the story or takes away from its, effectiveness. So if you're a fan of the novel like I am, I think you're going to enjoy how much it's faithful to the source material and how it's still able to deliver crowd-pleasing entertainment while also giving you that nerdy sci-fi goodness that you get from the book. And it's able to give us that scientific jargon, I think, in a much more accessible way for general audiences, where it's more easily digestible than it is in the book, because in the book, it's a little bit more dense, to say the least. And for a film that's 2.5 hours long, it flies by. The pacing is so good. I mean, everything about this movie fires on all cylinders, and everything about this movie reminds me why I love going to the movies and why I love movies. This movie put a huge smile on my face. As soon as it ended, I wanted to not only cheer, but I just wanted to watch it all over again. I loved this world. I love these characters. I love Rocky with every inch of my heart, and I love Project Hail Mary. I loved it from beginning to end. And it not only met my expectations, it exceeded them considerably. So yes, there's plenty of effusive praise in this review, but I could wax poetic for hours about how much I love this movie and all the things that I adored about it. It's just a great sci-fi film and just a great film in general that, please, I beg of you, see in a theater. See it on the biggest screen possible with the best sound possible. Grab some popcorn and just enjoy a great crowd-pleasing sci-fi film that I hope is as successful as I know it can be and should be. So in the end, I'm gonna give Project Hail Mary 5 out of 5 stars. This is my third 5-star film of the year. Crazy that we're in March and I've already given 3. That is unreal to me. That is unheard of for me. But this movie, without a doubt, is my favorite film of the year so far. And it's gonna take quite a film to knock it off the throne here, but we'll see what happens. But Project Hail Mary is just perfection to me. It is movie perfection, and it just speaks to the sci-fi nerd in me, and I loved it so very much. So Project Hail Mary hits theaters on March 20th. When it hits theaters, let me know what you thought of the movie. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Do you think it's just okay? Let me know down below, and let me know if you're excited for the movie down below. And until next time, everybody, I'm Tom Chattelbash, YouTube's most reliable movie critic.